Hey everybody, I'm Lori Petro and you are watching another episode of our weekly Q&A where I show you how to create teachable moments with your kids. And today's question comes from Regina, and Regina writes, Dear Lori, I'm concerned about how to handle certain situations like sharing when it involves other children. For example, when my daughter, who is 2.5 and highly verbal, is playing with a toy and a friend who is over for a play date tries to take it, how do I respond? Usually I try to head off the conflict, and if I notice the other child before it's too late, I'll ask my daughter if there's something else that we could offer her to play with. But sometimes she gets upset when the other child is demanding to play with her toys, and obviously there is no reasoning with her because of her age. I'm not sure how to react if the other child grabs the toy or also gets upset, other than forcing my daughter to share. And I often end up coaxing her to sharing her toys, but I'm so conflicted. I want her to be able to share, but I don't feel right in making her do this because she's so little. Any suggestions? Regina. Regina, I love your question because sharing is one of those hot button topics that lots and lots of people have very strong opinions about. I've heard adults on numerous occasions say to kids things like, well, if you can't share, then I'm taking it away. Or you have to share or nobody can play. And I'm with you on this one. I think that making children share is a short-sighted approach to instilling an executive function skill as sophisticated as empathy. The ability to share requires a level of empathy that young children don't have access to. Children need to be able to predict outcomes and understand that another person has a desire that does not detract from their own desire in order for them to willingly share. And the neural structures involved in empathy are also interwoven with the self-regulatory circuits. These are very complex skills that take years and years and lots of practice to master. And a punitive approach is really void of the understanding that it needs to strengthen and build these connections. So here are some ways that you can support your child in managing those social experiences that are new and unnerving. First, I would suggest don't always feel the need to intervene. Sometimes we jump in too quickly and want to resolve the conflict, and when we do, we're often only offering instant solutions or judgment or arbitrary compromises. And often you can let kids work out their own strategies, even toddlers. They don't always need you to run in and guide the conflict. Sometimes one toddler grunt to another is understood and they can move on without needing anything further. You can stay close and then intervene if the conflict escalates into physicality, but you'll be amazed at what happens when kids are actually allowed to work out their differences. And as kids get older, it's great practice for them to be able to negotiate and consider their needs and other people's needs and what is important. Remember, the tools that they use will depend on the models that they're exposed to. So stay close to monitor the situation, but resist that knee-jerk reaction to jump in and direct or make decisions for kids about how long turns will be or whose turn it is next. Don't force kids to share or set limits on taking turns. Unless you're in a public space where you need to be respectful of shared toys, I think you need to allow kids to complete their play and finish their turns on their own time. Where does this idea that kids should even share really come from? I mean, when my friends come over, I don't typically share my things, and they don't start rummaging through my belongings or trying on my clothes, expecting me to oblige. So why do we expect children to allow this invasion, this intrusion into their own privacy when their friends come over? Maybe we should be helping them control their impulses rather than judging the ability to share as kind, polite, right, wrong. Rather than bringing about a natural willingness to contribute to the needs of others, forcing kids to share or setting time limits on taking turns can unintentionally send the message that we're obligated to ignore our own needs in favor of another person's needs. This is going to breed resentment rather than empathy, so empathize with your child. Whether it is a shared community toy like a swing in a public space, your child's toy, or your child is the one waiting for a turn or using the toy, show empathy by using reflective language. Instead of, you have to share, this isn't our toy, say something like, you're having a lot of fun on this swing. I see some children waiting. We can take 3 more minutes before we give someone else a turn. Or instead of, you have to be patient and wait your turn, try something like, it's so hard to wait. You'd really like to use that toy right away. If the child turns aggressive, instead of threatening to take away the turn, say something like, you can be angry, you can let out your feelings, you may not hit me. It's hard to wait. What can we do next? What can we do while we're waiting? Or if your child grabs another child's toy, I won't let you take the toy, you'd like a turn. You can tell her by saying, I'd like a turn when you're finished, please. You'd be surprised at how many kids hand over a toy after being asked kindly and assertively. So model assertive language for your children without that emotional reactivity. If another child grabs the toy, reflect. You were playing with that. He took it. You don't like that. Tell him, I was playing with that. Please give it back. Or tell him, I don't like it when you grab. Please tell me that you want to turn. Or I wasn't finished. Please don't take things from me. Even if your child is too young to verbally make requests, you are modeling, you're giving his brain the practice by prompting him with assertive language that respectfully shares thoughts, feelings, and requests. Now, ownership is a new concept for kids, and the idea that they can retain ownership even during another person's usage is something that they just cannot developmentally wrap their brains around. So be patient with impulsive reactions and those emotional storms. It might be helpful to put away favorite toys and special items when friends come over. Or have your child select a few different toys or games that will be available to play. You can say, our friend is coming over. I've made lunch for us to eat. Can you choose some toys and games for us to play? And then make those toys available for your guests. And of course, the best thing that you can do is remember that childhood is a time for kids to master their skills. In order to grow and expand their ability to be resourceful, kids need us to remain calm and open as they practice these emerging social skills. Regina, that was my teachable moment for you and my ideas to help you refocus your attention as you guide your daughter to responding to some typical social demands. And I hope that you found some language here to help you respond to those conflicts around sharing and feel confident in your instinct to allow your daughter to have some say in the decisions that affect her. Now, what about you guys? What do you do when your kids don't want to share? Are you able to manage your own reactions when your kids argue over toys? How do you peacefully resolve sharing disputes in your home? There is so much more that we could say around this topic, but obviously we can't do it all in this video, so I want to hear from you. I want to know what you have to say. Share your thoughts and ideas in the comments below, because you never know, your thoughts and ideas might just be the ones to inspire someone else towards the change that they were looking for. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it on your favorite social media site. And if you don't want to miss another update, make sure to get over to teachthroughlove.com and sign up for my updates. Until next time, everybody, please remember, it's about consciousness, not perfection.